Hey, welcome everybody. I'm so glad you're here for this Ascension Q&A and Awakening transmission. Please make sure you stay till the end so that you can actually receive the transmission. Uh, my name is Peter D, and many of you know me. I'm a 24/7 channel. I don't have to do anything special to connect with spirit. It's always there. It's always just a matter of focus. And today, as you're asking your questions, I will be tapping into the field and providing answers from my higher self, all the beautiful entities I work with. Some of them are galactic, some of them are angelic, as well as what's in your field and your higher self. So hopefully we'll get some good learning here and good upgrades for everybody. Before we get started, I want to make a couple of plugs. All right. Um, I've been noticing recently that I've been noticing recently that everyone I'm dealing with has gotten really far. There's just been a trend of people who've gotten really far, but are having a blockage or two that is holding them back. And I think this is really interesting because it's kind of a comment on our times. So many people do so many beautiful practices, and there's so many spiritual teachers out there, and they're all really good. But I'm kind of noticing that not very many of them are addressing how to go to what's blocking you on the inside and do the inner work of what's going on. All right. And that's kind of once we can kind of lever that out, and that's what my role is in this great dance of everybody on the planet ascending, is to say clear, 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 clear. Because once you can lever that out, then things just start happening around you at an accelerated rate. So, yeah, I just want to point that out, that keep doing everything you're doing. And if you can add personal clearing into your what you're doing, that's going to help you even more. Then the other thing I want to say is that I've been noticing that people have been telling me I've been doing these practices and they've been really good. But when I do them with you, Peter, they seem to be a little bit stronger, or a lot stronger. And you guys know the old teaching from the Bible: whenever two or more gather in my name, I am there. Okay, so that's really what's going on. Is there's more people getting together. Now, I just happen to be very nicely in a place where my consciousness is expanded to the point it's expanded. Those of you who watch this stuff can feel that kind of thing happening. And so when I go into the field with somebody, then the amount that I'm carrying, the spaciousness and openness that I am embodying, then is kind of mixed into your field, and it gives you an opportunity to experience some of that. That's why it's so important to be working with people, your own support group, your own friends. You can bootstrap. You don't need somebody who'd be your guru or your teacher and pull you up, but you do it with people in a group and you accelerate further, faster. And so that's what I really, really want to talk about, is more community, more time you spend with others on your path is going to be very important as we move forward. And the only thing I have to say is, when you do go into a community, my point would be, try not to pick one where there's a guru. You don't need somebody, I'm the be all, know all, even me. Okay. That's not it. I'm here to empower you and show you what I know, because I'm only so far along in my path. I don't want no religion forming or something like that. And that's what keeps you stuck. So when you get into these groups and communities, you'll get more expansive, but always, always, always claim your power. Claim your power. I've been running into a lot of what I call the old new age. Okay. So new age was pretty new and it was all wonderful teachings and we all learned it. Everybody here had some access to some of those new teachings and it's beautiful. But even many of that is kind of dated now, by my understanding. And that because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm connected to spirit. Show me what to do. Spirit ain't ever going to show you what to do. Because if it shows you what to do, it immediately puts you in a child position and it becomes the father, the mother, the master. Okay. And if you're in that position, then you do not claim your power. You do not grow up into connection with spirit. So spirit's going to help you every step of the way. But if you're looking for what to do, look inside and do what you want to do. And if you ever connect to entities, because many of you are starting to have channeling abilities, which is really cool. If you ever connect to entities, then you're going to see that who's on your side or not. The ones telling you what to do, I would turn and run because I don't think they're in your best interest. You're going to always decide what's right for you, but I want to pass that advice along. The other ones will sit there, and that's why a lot of people say, "How come you're not answering my prayers?" And the answer is very clear because you're not very specific about your prayer. You're not claiming what you want to do and then asking for help and assistance in manifesting it. You're still on the prayer level of show me what to do, tell me what to do. And so that's what I wanted to pass on. I think that's kind of an old New Age teaching. Now, what's coming up shortly is the Becoming Awesome community has going to be moving off of Patreon soon. You can go to the website becomingawesome.one. Links will be below when you view this video. And you can just sign up. You can sign up for the free level for all kinds of tools and a monthly community meetup. But if you want to really dive in weekly, you can do that for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks each week. But you're instead of drinking coffee and getting caffeinated, you'll be diving into a beautiful field of connection and to take a bath where you get to experience everything that's available in this expansive field. We're going to start meeting. We meet every 7 o'clock Mountain Time on Tuesday nights. You can figure out your own time zone. We're going to start meeting a half hour early and a half hour later just for discussion, just to say hi and connect and talk about miracles and stuff that's going on and things in your life or questions and stuff. So it's going to be even more community starting in another week or two. Come in a half hour early or stay a half hour late and make that connection. Now, in addition, there's a couple of classes coming up. If you join at the premium level of membership, and that's really like 1.5 Starbucks a week, next weekend at this same time, which will be 11 o'clock Mountain Time on this Saturday coming up, uh, which I guess is the 18th, because this is going to be posted on video. So May 18th, Tracy will be teaching a class for premium members on how to clear out the blockages that are keeping you from doing self muscle testing and self kinesiology. Remember, we're trying to empower everybody. That's the whole philosophy Tracy and I have. We got to learn how to do this, and we want to teach you how to do kinesiology on yourself so you can have guidance. Some people hit blockages with that. And so we're offering that class. So that's for the premium members next Saturday, May 18th, 11 o'clock Mountain Time. Then June 14, 15, and 16 will be our next weekend intensive. And this is for level 2. If you haven't had level 1 yet, you can still take this. It'll be great. You'll get a lot out of it. You can always go back and purchase the video of level 1 if you want to, but you can still join live, because when you're in that group together, it is so much more powerful. You're going to feel that today by actually showing up live, how much more powerful it is. And this is a whole weekend of swimming in that. Friday the 14th is free. Okay. Friday evening, the 14th, free introductory session. Going to do a beautiful process to get into a meditative connection and then really start to access God realization, which is the topic of the next course, realizing that God is here. You. Okay. God. All right. So that's what we're going to, the whole weekend is about. 14th is free, and the 15th and 16th, they're intensive. They're long days. They're like 10-hour days. Uh, and it's going to be really, really fun because you kind of get tired. And when you get tired, you get out of the way. And when you get out of the way, more stuff comes in. So if you really want to dive deep into God realization, that'll be only $222 for 8 full sessions, 8 2-hour sessions over 2 days. So that's what's coming down the pipe. Please check that out. Now, we're going to get into the question and answer phase, and then we're going to end this up with a transmission. And just so you guys know, I'm not the guy doing this. I mean, I love taking credit for it. Yes, of course, I'm doing it because I'm here and it's coming through my eyes. But literally, all I do is connect to source and then get out of the way. And this is where we're all going to get, especially when you get more God realized. You're going to have that connection to source, then you're going to get out of the way and you're going to start helping people, which is real important. Many of you are in beautiful places, and many of you still play the all shucks me card. I need my teacher. No, you should be out there sharing whatever you have. Don't proselytize. We're not about creating that kind of thing. Oh, this is the way, follow me. No, no, no. Just say, hey, I've got these things and you seem to be having some difficulties. Let me share what I have. You see, as you give, you receive. The reason I'm advancing as quickly as I'm advancing is because I give it away. I'm here doing these things. And so more comes to me all the time. You want more, start sharing it. And that's how you will grow, and that's how the whole planet will pop. Okay. So we're going to get into our question period now. Please know this is being recorded. And if you do not want your face shown, your camera should be off. You should be muted. To ask a question, you'll need to raise a hand. I see that, Steve, you already have your hand up, but I'm going to start with somebody who emailed me this week who couldn't make it here because she is in Australia and she's not even awake yet. And so Jesse wrote, when we are declaring our sovereignty, as in perhaps asking that no being is to enter our field without asking us first, what if our soul is absolutely okay with whoever particular being that shows up to communicate with us, but our ego isn't? Like the example, a person might have fear of ETs and they might declare that no ET is allowed to communicate with them. Isn't that just ego mind that makes that declaration? And if it is ego mind, is that declaration respected? All right. And then she goes on talking about free will and trying to sort this all out. So, Jess, and all those of you listening, the teaching that Jesse's asking about is the teaching that you are sovereign. Nothing, absolutely nothing can come into your field without your permission. When you understand that, then you become the gatekeeper of what's in your consciousness. You're no longer buffeted around by entities around you. And I know lots of people are often fearful of, oh, there's bad things. I got to protect against that. And, when you're afraid and you do protection rituals and stuff, guess what you create? That which you are afraid of. Anything you focus on expands. It's the law of attraction stuff, which is all true. Okay. So the way to get out of that is to understand that you're sovereign and then own it. Now, of course, you may have fear of different things, and that's embedded in the question that Jesse is asking. Well, what if I'm scared of this stuff? Well, then that's exactly your answer. You're scared of it. So you will attract it. And it's good to have the attraction, right? Because anything you suppress by holding your fear back creates a magnetic energy that attracts more of it to you to try to break it loose so you can be free. So that is your signal to clear. You go inside and you start to know, oh, yeah, that's inside me. I can clear this. So now the question that Jesse was asking was, well, will your higher self override you or will your ego mind run? First of all, get rid of the word ego. Just get rid of it. That's a creation of thinkers who try to explain mind and get all little clever things about mind. Get rid of it. Talk about yourself. I'm afraid. All right. Own it. I'm afraid. All right. And if you are, you are. And spirit will not override that ever. This is why so many people feel cut off, is because we have these deep-seated fears that we have not identified and cleared, which if you allow yourself, you will identify and you will clear. So you have these deep-seated fears, and because you're putting up so many blockages, oh, I got all that tight, I'm scared of this stuff. Spirit, which is trying to connect with you and shower you with gifts and love, can't get in because you've got the shield up. Lower shields or keeping your shields up at all times. You don't get that contact. That's why we're all cut off. Now, this is happening on an unconscious basis. So when you get rid of the word ego, also get rid of the word subconscious. Those are just weird things to try to make more variations of confusion in your reality. You got you, and you got your unconscious mind and your conscious mind. And your conscious mind, of course, isn't even yours. That's another teaching that I've gone on and on about, but I'm not going to go into that here. All right. And just claim it for yourself. And then you're always going to be on your best path. This is what people don't get. Show me my best, highest good. I pray for this if it's in the best, highest good. Well, damn it, you're sovereign. So whatever is happening right around you in this moment is your best, highest good, because that is what you're allowing into your field and permissioning into your field. And so if you pray for something, I want this, but only if it's in my best good, you're basically saying you don't want it. Because remember, I told you, you're always the one making the choice. And if you don't make the choice to say, I desire this, and therefore I see it manifest in my field and is created around me, Spirit's not going to help you manifest it. And so whenever you pray for the best, highest good, you're selling yourself out. You're saying, this is short. I don't really know what my best, highest good is because I'm ignorant and disconnected. So treat me like a kid and just give me candy if you feel like it. Okay. Instead, you claim, this is something I desire. This is something I believe is going to be helpful for the world. So you pray correctly. You do it by visualizing it and giving gratitude that you hold it. And then Spirit can help you create it. And then you grow. You pulled your big boy, big girl pants on. You grow by saying, yes, this is me making this claim. And then, of course, you get whatever outcome you get from it. If you're still holding unconscious negativity and stuff, like you're wishing for the brand new pony, and then all of a sudden you realize you got to pay for a barn and there's a lot of poop to shovel, all right, then that's it. You've learned the wisdom of all that and you make a better prayer. Okay. That's what growing up is. All right. So, Jess, I think maybe I've answered your question, maybe not. And it's just a matter of your higher self is never going to override you. And there is no ego mind. If you're afraid of something, admit it. And then if you choose to clear it, and you'll expand. And if you don't choose to clear it, you'll attract it to you anyway, because that's how anything you block is. Okay. Now, Steve, I'm going to spotlight you. If you can go ahead and unmute, and I'm going to lower your hand here.
Okay. Mhm.
Great. Steve, have at it. What's your question today?
How are you, Peter? Just two quick things. One thing I was wondering was if God or Source, doesn't judge and there's no right or wrong, in our existence, and it's pretty much just experience through duality in this place and time, on the earth experience, then how does this play out through all these different things, as also with here and in the multiverse, as far as this ancestral or genetic karma that supposedly we have and we need to clear and this and that. So how would you clear, or how would it exist if you're taking on different personalities or roles in the different fractals that you come, to do through your, I guess, existence from your higher self? Why would it carry on if there's no judging or there's no right or wrong? Why would some of these teachers or people say, oh, you got to clear your ancestral karma, oh, you got to clear your genetic karma, your personal karma? So how does that actually, exist if supposedly after this lifetime, this part of you is just a role? Then why would it continue on if you're creating another role, for another future life or existence or experience?
So, Steve, that's a beautiful question. And appreciate that you're not interested in the small stuff. You're interested in the big stuff. So, I'm going to do the best I can to give you what my knowledge is about this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I want to start off by karma. Okay. I was taught that karma is primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary karma is everything that happens to you in this life. Secondary karma is everything from conception to 6 hours after birth. Tertiary karma is everything in your past lives. Okay. Now, I've since come to believe that there's a fourth layer of karma, and that was from your emergence from source when you first came out into being your own fractal, or your self-aware and no longer is part of the Godhead awareness. And that creates a lot of interesting things. What am I doing out here all of a sudden? It's different, it's dense. Okay. And I'm starting to see that now. Traditionally, karma is either a place where you feel like you have to learn a lesson. I do this till I learn a lesson. Or in some schools, it's a punishment. I did bad here. Now I must get the good and get that all out. Okay. Throw those conceptions of karma away. Okay. Throw those away. They're old school teachings. They don't even come close to the beauty of what karma is. Maybe you want to even get rid of the word karma. Okay. So, what goes on is you have experiences. All right. And you either fully complete them, in which case the experience turns to bliss and you have that open connection to source because there's no blockage from the lack of completion. And then you gain the wisdom. It's not a mental knowing, it is a visceral understanding of, oh, yeah, this is how it works. Okay. And then
Mm,
because you're connected to source, God gains that wisdom, God grows, and that's how we expand creation. And we are the God bots. We are the cutting edge expanding creation. Now,
mm,
anything that happens in any realm of karma happens in all realms of karma. Okay. So when you're
mm,
here and you're clearing your past lives, yes, you are. And you don't need to do any past life work to do it. You can simply do this life work because if it's in one place, it's in all places. If you clear it in one place, you clear it in all places. So some clients I do past life work with, but most of the people that I'm helping, we go back to their deep unconscious imprinting, which almost always has been laid between ages 0 and 6, because that's when
mm,
you're open and your mind is really not fully formed yet as a mind. And so you get these things in your unconscious, and then it just kind of runs your whole life. And then that's why we say we have a personality, or why am I always broke? Why am I lucky? Why is, okay? It's just what's set in there. And so what it is it's showing you what was placed in those other times, whether you want to call it ancestry, because you are your ancestors. It's weird, but it's how it works. All right. Or what's in your birth. Okay. On my website, if you join the free membership level, you will see a process to clear past lives. You will see another process called the 4 baskets, which is from conception to 6 hours after birth. They're all very handy. You can do it in this lifetime, though. Okay. So now,
mm,
why is it that we would have something from that other lifetime that is maybe affecting us in this lifetime, if I understand the gist of your question, if we've got free will and free choice? So we come onto the earth plane to have one experience. And most of us come into that experience with the secondary goal, too, of, I've been carrying these crappy energies around and I'm tired of it. So it's not a punishment. It's not learn your lesson yet. It's like, man, I've tried this so many times. And I don't know how it is in your life, but when I do a new project, I'll try things and I'll just keep trying until I figure it out. Unless I get frustrated and give up and say that's not for me. Now, some people will try something once and give up. Some people will never try something because they'll say, oh, I can't do that, right? I played this card game with my wife. It's called Dominion. Fantastic card game. I love it. It's
mm,
different every time you play it. I won't get into all the details. So the first 40 or 50 times I played it with my wife, I kicked her ass. She just totally wiped her out. And she said, come on, let's play again. And I'm like, you're nuts. I'm just beating you all the time. Why do you do this? He goes, I'm going to figure
yeah,
this out. Now she figures it out and she kicks my ass as much or more as I take her down when we play Dominion. Okay.
uh,
And so that's kind of how it is with the karma going on. She's
mm,
willing to just do this until she gets understanding of how it works. We're
mm,
in creation saying, all right, yeah, I'm going to get some understanding of how this works. I know I got it in me. This is how we do growth. Now, yes, we have a higher self. And yes, our higher self expands through space and time. And this is where you get into a paradox, and you're just going to have to live with it because, paradox creation, get used to it. Okay. If you want to mentally 3D understand it, good luck. You can stay in 3D your whole time. Okay.
mm,
Your higher self is all of you through all of time. And it
mhm,
already knows this. But then how did it get there? By focusing itself, having a fractal of awareness and attention on different aspects. In this case, you, Steve, in this case, me, Peter, and then gleaning the wisdom that then comes into all that. And so at the same time, it already knows the outcome and has lived it. And it gets the beauty of the journey, of the mystery of unraveling it. So
mm,
now, why is it then that you're clearing your ancestors? All right. Because at a certain point, you as a soul who were your ancestors, or your ancestors who you've decided as a soul to take their lineage in, right? You say, hey, I'm going to take some of your genetics in. So I'm going to carry some of this stuff because you get to choose who you're born as. Okay. So I'm going to carry this in because I think this can be cleared. So that's why the genetic imprint is there, because you're choosing that. Okay. So what happened is your ancestors made choices, either one out of fear, oh, this is terrible, I never want to do this again, right? And that's why you have a blockage in this lifetime. Or two, they're playing the lower density power games, right? And that's why we have Illuminati families and all that other stuff that are right and left torturing. And so when you get to the point where you break out of that as a soul, then you kind of have that imprint with you, again, by choice. And then you want to say, okay, I can clear this now because I'm strong enough now. They can't hurt me or any of that stuff.
mm.
Now, if I haven't messed up your head enough, let me give you a little
No,
bit
no.
more. This is an advanced level teaching right here. So get ready for this. All those of you who
Mhm,
are ready saying, no, how could any of this be? All right. So we tend to think that you're you, right? You tend to think you're you, right? That's how it works when you have a consciousness that vocal puts its focal point on stuff. So, as we ascend, we know we're our consciousness. Before we ascend, we think we're our mind. Either way, you think of you as you, right? So you think, oh, if I had a past life, then it was me who had it. And so then we think in this linear thing, well, I had this life and I did this and I did that and I did this. And we think of it linear, but it's not that way in the multiverse. So
mm,
imagine that you're deciding to come into Earth and you go to a nice auto junkyard and you say, these are dense energies, and I relates to that energy. So I'll take the bumper off of that Cadillac over there, and I'll take the doors off of that Corvette over there. And you just take all these pieces and you put it in and you go, this is me in my lifetime. And then
mm,
that's why you're clearing all that other stuff, because you picked it up and chose it. This is why so many people can say, I've been Christ, right? And you hear that all the time. And some, our culture, we lock people up and you're insane. Because when you came in, you said, I'm going to carry some Christ energy with me. Why not? All right. I
mm,
chose all kinds of crazy ass things. I had a lot to clear that I wanted to deal with. So I brought some Marquis de Sade energy in with me, right? Because that was my thing to clear. And so
mm,
I've got you got all their different choices. And this is why people say, because we have egos, right? Well, we don't have egos. We have a craving for significance. Remember, I told you get rid of the word ego. To be human means you desire and you crave significance. Because we have a craving for significance, we all want to be that famous past life.
mm,
Right. Oh, I was this and I was that. And you were, because you brought parts of it in with you if you relate to it at all. But you
mm,
also brought in a lot of muck and stuff like that. So I
mm,
want to have oh, look at me. I had all these really cool past lives and stuff like that. And well, I'm special, right? And we all want to feel special. It's craving for
mm,
significance. It's innate to being human. Uh, and so that's why I don't want to diss it by saying it's ego. But you brought all these different things in. And in your case, and I don't know exactly what you're dealing with, in your case, you're saying, oh, I got ancestral stuff, or I'm aware I have ancestral stuff. That was your choice. Okay, I rambled a lot and I covered a lot of ground, Steve. Go ahead and ask me anything else you need based on what I said.
Um, just two little more things. One part of the little thing is, so then how come a lot of these mediums and other spiritual people say, oh well, in your next lifetime, you're gonna if you did all these things wrong or whatever, you're gonna have to take on another role, and you're gonna be the one experiencing to clear your karma, the negative or whatever, So everything what you're saying makes sense. So then why would it be like it's a payback? Like you have to go through the next lifetime and pay back for what you did or something or somebody did to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where they keep
So,
talking about this.
so first of all, it's not a payback. It's
Mm,
never a payback. Second of
mhm,
all, they're saying that because from their understanding, that's how
mhm,
they can make sense of it in 3D in the old energies that they learned it in.
mhm,
Many of the people teaching that actually have not experienced their past lives, but they in lineage of this guru or monk or teacher taught them, and it goes back hundreds of thousands of years, so not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds or thousands of years. And they don't actually experience what it's like. And they're just passing teachings on of people who tried to make sense of it. We've got more energy and more awareness because of the energetics of the earth moving into the part of the galaxy that it's moving into. Therefore, we're more ready for ascension. Therefore, we can access more understanding. Okay.
Mm,
So that's how that works. Now,
mm,
one of the things I told you earlier was anything fully experienced turns to bliss, right? So the way to understand this is uh, let's say somebody did something horrible to you, right? I mean, you're clearing that Illuminati lifetime and you were tortured as a kid or something like that. This is an extreme example, but let's just use it, all right? So
mm,
if you fully experience it, there's nothing there left, nothing to forgive, nothing to change. And because you have moved that energy out of your field, they can no longer hold it in any reality that includes you. We're in a multiverse, so they can go into darker, denser places and they want to do that, but around you. So I have witnessed this so many times where I teach a class and we do the parent clearing process. And we'll usually do that on the last day in the evening. And on the next day, we start class. And every class, every single one, two, three people say, oh, yeah, I haven't talked to my parents in this many years. They called me up. I had one where we were doing a process clearing emotional problems with kids. And as soon as we're done, this lady's like jumping up and down, holding me. This is my daughter. She texted me. She and I haven't spoken in 4 years. Okay.
uh,
So I witnessed this. I've done it. Now it gets really trippy. So I've had people who I've butted heads with because I was a dick and they were a dick. And that's what we decided to do is be dicks together. Okay. So
mm,
I had people who I butted heads with. And then I finally figured out enough consciousness to go, oh, yeah, I created this. Let me clear it. I go inside and I clear it. Then I encounter these people and they, because I don't feel the stress anymore. I don't feel all worked up anymore that how it was. So I can talk about what happened. So I'll say
mm,
what happened and they'll have
yeah,
no memory of it.
mm,
Now, at
mm,
first, I thought I was nuts and that they were denying it and they weren't giving me my satisfaction to admit how terrible they were to me. Okay. But so then I brought it up to my meditation group. And this is why I said, get into groups, start sharing this. It's going to change. You're going to know stuff. You got to get outside reference because otherwise you'll just think you're nuts all the time. Right. So
mm,
I started sharing in my group. Anybody noticing this happen? They're like, yeah, me. And then all of a sudden, people are telling me it's happening to them as well. So here's what I understanding I gleaned. This was before I could just ask my higher self, but I didn't have that connection yet. I would sit there and now they, of course, they're confirming it. They're going, yeah, tell them this. Okay. When
mhm,
you clear it out of your field, there's nothing left to forgive. Because of
right,
that, you're in a new timeline where it didn't happen.
uh,
Okay. And so that's why that even though it's the same person, they got no memory of it because there's no
uh-huh,
energy that's keeping it there. So when we
mhm,
talk about Earth ascending, it's not like we're going to go to some place and be some different thing. It's more
mm,
about that enough of us has cleared our stuff so that all that negativity is no longer in the shared field.
mhm,
Okay. So we're in the new timeline. That's why some of the mediums and channels talk about bifurcation or multifurcation, where it's going to break off. And it's happening right and left with every time you do a clearing, you're in a new reality. Okay. And when
mhm,
you get to enough of us who do this, we'll all be sharing that reality of
mhm,
these bad things haven't happened because they're not even,
mhm,
there's no energy supporting it anymore.
mhm.
Does that help?
Yes. So when you're saying about when you clear it out to where it doesn't exist or it didn't happen, because what you're saying of, clearing it through yourself. So then how does that work when you have supposedly your life review when you cross back over with your guides and they show you all this stuff? If you cleared it, does it exist in the life review? Like if somebody was bad to me, and you or you were bad to somebody and they say, well, look at this, and you're like, oh, you feel all the pain and everything you caused that person. Are you just let off the hook and you're like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have did that. You're just let off the hook and it's forgotten? Or how is the person,
Okay. You're still
like
thinking.
justified?
You're
Yeah,
still
yeah, in the
thinking
3D.
that it's you who
Hmm.
did all that stuff that's
Yeah.
having the life review. So
Mm.
in my next book, which is going to come out in a couple of weeks, yay, on God realization, okay, I talk about how to do a life review. And the whole point
Mm.
is don't wait till you're dead.
Do
Do
it
it
now.
while you're alive. And if
Mhm.
you do it while you're alive, then you clear all those densities from your field. And when you get to the point where you're dead and you choose to look back, you won't see it because it's not in your field anymore.
I got you. Hmm. Okay, I got you,
Oh,
Peter.
beautiful.
All
Somebody
right.
else ask a question, please raise your hand. I've been going with Steve for a while, and I know there's so many of you out there. There's like
Okay.
almost 40 of you on the call. Steve, this is great stuff. I'm glad to get to talk with you about all
Thank you,
this
Peter.
cool stuff. But go ahead, please raise your hand and let's get the next person on board. Otherwise, you'll just have to keep listening to me blab. And God, I do that all day. So let's get some fresh blood in here, okay? All right, Steve, I'm gonna take you out of the spotlight and go ahead and mute yourself, please. And Jennifer, go ahead and unmute yourself. And I'm adding you to the spotlight. And
Hi,
hi, how you doing?
good.
What's on your mind?
So I made some sort of a contract, I guess, with a karmic relationship. And there's energies that are uh sucking my life force basically. And I know it has to do with something I need to clear, but I'm kind of at a loss at the
Uh,
moment.
so here's the deal. First of all, throw out the word contract. You made
Okay,
you made a choice.
I made a choice.
There's
Okay.
no legal repercussions. They're not going to hunt you down and repossess your soul or put you in soul prison or anything like that. Okay. You made a choice. And
Okay.
it sounds like you made this choice in connection with another person. Right.
Right.
And so now you're playing this game and you're realizing that it's kind of sucking. All right. And
Yeah,
literally
I'm kind of tired.
sucking your energy out. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things possible. I highly recommend you book an individual session with Tracy or I. Those of you who are listening, they're free. Not free. We prefer you make a donation, but you don't have to. So they're by donation for 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if you don't want to get on the waiting list, just sign up for Friday. It's a paid thing. Get in there, do a session. I highly recommend that. Okay.
Okay.
So now there's several things going on that could be in play, and I'm just going to present them to you. Spirit wants to play a little game with you right now where it's going to say, well, what if this or what if that or what if the other thing? And then you get to choose because
Okay.
you get to choose. Okay. So what if you made this agreement with this person and you've got everything out of it that you already need to get out of it and it's time to end it? And you don't
Okay.
realize that it's time to end it because you don't accept that you've got what you can get out of it. All right. All right. Another possibility, just
Yes.
is what if you had this mistaken belief that, like in the last question where Steve was asking, well, it's karma and we got to come back and do all this karma stuff. What if you had this mistaken belief that it is karmic and you needed a lifetime of suffering to purify yourself?
I don't
And
like that one.
I don't like that one either, but you might have said it. The question is not whether any of these are true. The question is, are you going to go inside and reflect and say, if that's the
Right.
case, you use the word contract. I break this contract. I'm done with it. I've got what okay. What if that's the case? Because you have this power at any time, right? Uh, what if the lesson here is, what if the lesson here is, wow, I got into all these entanglements and all these other lives, and it just seemed to drag on and on. And this is the lifetime where I'm going to learn to break entanglement. And what if this whole thing was designed where this other person, because remember, even though they're a suck and draining you, they were with you on the other side and they said, hey, let's do this. And from their point of view, they're saying, I'm willing to take on the karma of the negativity I create. I'm willing to take on all of those feelings just to help you. Right. So what if they decided with your consent, because you asked for it, hey, I need you to poke me and prod me and really make this difficult so I finally have what it takes to come clear and be with the next new me. All right. So the easiest way to get rid of what you would call a contract is to just reflect and get clear. Uh, Whoever I just let in, I need you to mute yourself because some stuff is coming out through your mic. Thank you. Good. So what if you came into here with the idea that this is the lifetime you're going to do clearing, and their role was to push you to your buttons until you finally said, damn it, I got enough. I'm going to clear. But because of this old thing, well, it's my contract. I must suffer. It's my karma. And it's none of that. The whole thing is,
Right.
if you're feeling drained, obviously you're in a place where your energy is being drained. Get out of it. All right. The other thing is, well, how do you get out of it? Well, it's all by choice. The thing past that is you sit there and you fully experience it. This is draining me. All right. Okay. Now, like I said, my next book's going to be doing your life review now while you're alive. Okay. So you just make a nice list, all the different times. I felt it with this dude. I felt it back in this job. I felt it when I first left home. I felt it when I was 12 when my girlfriend did this. I felt it when I was 3 when my dad did that. And you just sit as best you can and see when it showed up in your life, because you're not here without a bunch of choices to get you here. There's a lot that led you here in this lifetime. So you identify them all. Then once you identify them, you welcome them in, and feel what you can feel by welcoming it in. Oh, it's heavy here. Okay, so you put your hand there. And then before you get into the release of the emotion, you ask, unconscious, show me what I believe. Show me what I told myself to make these experiences okay, because that becomes the unconscious operating program running. In almost every case, I'm not loved. I'm not lovable. I don't deserve. I'm not good enough. It's not safe, and I'm getting punished. My favorite one, this was my personal when I first did it. My favorite one is God makes shit and I'm it. Okay. All right. So,
Right.
yeah. So you identify that. Then when you do the clearing, you fully express the feeling, right? So you're feeling heaviness and drained, right? Well, there's stuff underneath that: sadness, grief, anger, all that stuff. And you express it. And expression means, because we're in the physical earth plane, means physical expression, sound. Maybe you need a drive-by fuck you, not like a drive-by shooting, but a drive-by fuck you in front of their house or something like that. And I'm not recommending this to anybody, but I've done it in my life. Okay. So, okay. So it's like you need to let it out on its own terms. If it's anger, if it's sadness, sadness needs to cry and feel it without judging yourself like, oh, you should be grown up. This is your lesson. No, you feel it like the age you were when it got input in your unconscious, which is almost always 0 to 6. You'd be a 6-year-old or a 2-year-old or whatever, and you let it rip. And when it burns out, you then feel, oh, okay. And then you got to replace the unconscious belief. That's the time when you're receptive. And you do that by connecting to spirit and saying, just flood me with the good stuff now. Give me some auspicious qualities. I know you got my back. And I know that you know more than I do. So instead of the best, highest good, I'm going to ask you that you just give me it all to me, everything that I can handle in this moment, and just replace it with auspicious qualities. And you just do that, and you just cycle through as best you can each of these little instances you identify in your life. Maybe you make 3 or 4 passes when you get to some of them because they're big and you're not ready to really release that. This is why I was saying, when you do this in the group field, it's way stronger, which is why there is that class I told you about. It's why we're having a retreat in France in July. For those of you who can swing it, you'll be in a field and you'll be physically present to do these releases. Oh, it's so much stronger. You'll also be in the field of people like me and Tracy who've gone pretty far along our release path. So we can help you by holding space, by just entering into the field with you and holding space. So I said, book a session, okay, and start hanging in community and just on your own or with your friends. This is your time to really feel it, Jennifer. Really feel it so you'll complete it. You can make the choice all you want. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. But until you get to the emotional stuff and the unconscious belief that's powering it, you'll go back.
Thank you.
Does any of that help, sweetheart?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. I'm going to remove your spotlight. Somebody else. Next question. I don't see any hands in the queue. This is your time. Please raise your hand. All right. Beautiful. Okay. iPhone 5. You can unmute now. And I'm going to spotlight you. Hang on a second. I can't spotlight you because you don't have your video on. But anyway, you're unmuted iPhone 5. Do you care to tell me your name?
Hi, I am Grace. I'm actually in the car and I'm trying to figure out how to put my video camera on.
All right. Well, maybe it'll help you if I
But
ask you to start your video.
hold on. I think I have to move you.
It's all good. Welcome to technology. But Grace, go ahead and ask your question. Don't worry about the video. Hello, Grace. All right. Well, while we're waiting for Grace, who else would like to ask a question here? Only been at this for 49 minutes and we've only had 3 questions. Oh, cool. Good. Oh, she's coming back. She got bounced out. All right, Grace, you're back. All right, we'll get to you in just a minute. So, Amadeep, can you please
I'm
unmute
there.
yourself? Amadeep, sorry.
Hi.
Hey, first of all, thank you for doing that beautiful interview. I was so honored that you wanted to interview me for your podcast. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for, accepting my invitation. And I watched it a few times. I haven't uploaded yet, but every time I watch it, it just brings me so much energy. So I just want to let you know, I automatically just smile and laugh. If I'm feeling down, I watch it and just uplift my spirit. So thank you.
Beautiful. And when you get off with this question, put a link in the chat to where that interview will be so that everybody here, if they're interested, can enjoy your energy and my energy. Okay.
I will. Thank you so much. So Peter, my question is, so I know I need to make a change. I know what change, and I know what that change is. But the problem is I have some old limitations that are holding me back. And I just want to know how I can make that jump and bypass these old beliefs.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, throw out the word need. Okay. You desire to make a change. Take the pressure off. Otherwise, you'll be shitting on yourself and you'll be beating yourself up every time you don't make a change. Okay. So get rid of the word need. Just I desire. Okay. And second of all, awareness is the first step. Awareness is the last step. So just be aware. Oh, I desire to make this change. Oh, I did not. Okay. What happens when you admit what is exactly going on? Don't beat yourself up. That's why I said get rid of the should and the need. You're going to have a pang somewhere in your body. I desire to make this change and I did not. And then just scan your body and you're going to start to see an area. Put your hand on it and say, what feeling is here? Fear, whatever, and then you do what I was suggesting earlier. You peel the next layer back. Unconscious, show me what I believe about this. it's not safe to make this change. If I make this change, people will see me. And if I'm big, then they'll laugh at me. Okay. Or, hunt me down and kill me. Or if you go back to Steve's question, in that past life where I did decide to stand up and speak, that I got killed for it, and that's still in your consciousness by choice till you're ready to relieve it. And this is your opportunity, whatever it is, you identify it. Then when you're ready, you do your best to fully express it. Then sit on your divine mother, your divine father's lap, and let him baby you up and say, okay, give me this quality now. I know it's there in the field. Activate it in me. And so that's the whole clear replace process. It's the same process, but you don't force yourself into it. You do it like, I'm just aware that I desire this. Oh, I didn't do it again. So now I didn't have a lot of training in spirituality or anything back when I was a drug addict and alcoholic. And I knew it was kind of killing me. And I read this spiritual message in a magazine. Remember the days when this used to come out in magazines instead of on YouTube? And so I read this spiritual message, and they said, look, just be honest. Just say, hey, I would rather not do these drugs right now, but spirit, I'm in so much pain. This is the best I can do, is mitigate my pain with this drug. So you be honest, you just be aware. And I did that. And within 3 days, I was in Narcotics Anonymous. Okay. So it may or may not be that fast for you. We all have our own path. We all go at our own speed, but that's pretty much how it works. You just be aware. Don't force yourself into it. Give yourself the desire. And then when you choose whatever action, because it's all by choice, you did it again 15 times in a row. I fell in that hole. I know that hole is there. I walked right up to it and I fell in it. Or I remember that AA poem. I saw the hole and I moved around the edge and I still fell in it. And then I did that a bunch of times. Then finally I took another street. Okay. But anyway, so it's like you just be aware that that's where your energetic attraction is. And by focusing on that without blaming yourself for doing it, you then get that place where you get that moment of your body tightens up because you did not do what you desired. And then you follow that path to get to the feelings and the beliefs underneath it. Do the clearing stuff, like on my website. When you join the free thing, there's that clear negative charges one. Do that one. All right. And then that's how you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
All right. Thank you, sweetheart. Catch you soon. All right. So anybody else with a question? All right. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Ilsa or Elsa. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name.
It's Elsa. Mine is just a quick question. I just wanted to see if I can get your book, an ebook through Amazon, or if we just go to your website to get it.
All right. So it's all through Amazon and you can get the ebook there. Okay. And
Perfect.
if you go
I'll
to my
be right
website,
there.
yeah. And the new book's not out yet. Give it another couple of weeks. I sent it off to my editor on Sunday. She said it takes about 11 days, and then I'll do one more read through and make some fiddles and get the cover sorted out. Within 2 weeks, it'll be there. Okay.
Perfect. That's all that I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. All right. Okay. Looks like, Grace, you got it sorted out. So go ahead and
I did.
unmute yourself and hang on a second. I got to spotlight myself again. And fire away.
Hi. Okay. My question is, I've been doing a lot of clearing and clearing and clearing, but it seems like it's not really getting to the point where I feel that it's releasing. So I don't know if it's because I'm doing it wrong, or am I not acknowledging the clearing? But it just seems like I keep clearing and clearing, but it's not moving forward.
Yeah, I get you. So right at the beginning of this, I was talking about how it's more powerful in groups. So, and it's particularly more powerful when you can get into a group with other people who have done that kind of work. So there's more stuff. So I personally went to Oneness University in India 4 times. And the first time was for 2 classes that took 6 weeks, and then 2 more times for 4-week classes, then once for a 3-week class. So I surrounded myself with these monks who are at super high levels of consciousness and had done clearing work. They were all about clear, clear, clear. That was why I was attracted to them. They weren't just learn our philosophy. They're like, no, do a process. Okay. So I had the grace of being in their field a lot. And so I got benefits, but it wasn't all at once. I was taught that awakening is like 100-step scale. And this is arbitrary, but it helps. So each step is twice as far as the first one. So the first step is around here, the second one's here, the third one's there, fourth one's there, fifth one's in the next room. Okay. All right. So by the time you get up to around 10 or 15 steps, you're in the stratosphere. Okay. Spirit's telling me that you've got some awakening, that you're in a nice place. You're in the low single digits, 4 or 5, something around that. And very cool. I didn't notice anything until I got in the low 20s. All right. Because stuff is happening, but I was still running it through my mind. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I feel that.
I didn't understand that I had to actually focus on the gifts I was giving to be present with the energetics. I didn't have that understanding. So I couldn't even use the level of awakening that I had. Okay. So in your case, part of what's going on is you're still filtering it through mind, but trust me, stuff is happening on the spirit level. The other thing is you got some firewalls built in place. And firewalls, remember I talked about unconscious beliefs? All right. So those are just programs, they're mental programs. A lot of people don't like to accept that what they express as is programming that was all placed in when they were just kids. A lot of people don't want to express that this is my program. Well, pretty much it is. All right. And I mean, you get choices that mean you get to be self-programming once you become aware of it. But until you become aware of it, it's just all automatic. You know, when you drive, sometimes you're like coming home from work and you leave work and you go, and then you pull into your driveway 20, 30 minutes later, and you don't have any memory of how you drove. And yet there you are in your driveway. That's how powerful your unconscious is at running your life.
Yeah.
So
I actually had a heart wall break in January, which was amazing. But yeah.
yes. Okay. So what's going on is those heart walls are part of what these firewalls are. And they're just unconscious programs we don't know about. And so as you do this, you're going to have to start not just seeing what's here, you're going to have to start addressing it as its own entity, its own consciousness. I've got a tool on my website for clearing firewalls. Tracy is super, super good at clearing heart walls, particularly high primary heart walls. In fact, that's a lot of the classes she teaches on how to do that kind of stuff. When I write the 3rd book later this summer, it's going to be all about heart walls. Okay. So you're having these breakthroughs that's giving you these steps of consciousness, but it's also showing you that you have other blockages. And it's kind of sucky because it's like, what? I got this much shit to go through. When am I going to be done? It hurts so my whole life. Okay. Here. I just got to do this. I've been doing this a lot. I'm going to do it for you if I can find it. Hold on a second. Here we go. This is my magic wand. I got it at the circus. I'm going to wave it now, so you're going to be better just instantly, okay? All right. So it just doesn't really work that way. Yeah, I got the damn magic wand, and it just doesn't work that way. And so just last week, I was sitting in the hot tub. This past week, I was sitting in the hot tub, and I was whining. I was just moaning to spirit. I'm like, just what we're talking about. This sucks. It's hard. Come on. I'm supposed to be this teacher and I've come so far and blah, blah, blah. And it's still difficult. Okay. And Spirit's like, did you honestly think that you would sign up for a whole planet ascending all at once and it would be like that? You chose as a soul to be here on Earth now at the time of planetary ascension, which means you're going to get all your karma in a lifetime. How many lifetimes have you been around? You're going to get all of it in one go. And if that's not big enough, by opening yourself up to the field, you're going to then create space for others and you're going to get the whole planet. Did you honestly think that was going to be a cakewalk? So I'm sorry, Grace.
Mm.
You're doing brilliant. And you hitting this wall is an identification of the awareness of the power you have. So you're at that place. I'm just going to do a plug for my Denver Nuggets because I root for them. It's one of my distractions is basketball. And they were playing this series with Minnesota and they sucked ass the first two games. It was the most hard. I couldn't watch. It was the worst basketball I'd ever seen. It was like, who are these guys? And then they came out in the third game of the series last night and they won by 30 points. And everything
Wow.
smoothly. And what their coach did was, first of all, he yelled at them for a week. I'm like, this is great. It's just what you need. Getting yelled at for a week by dad. All right. And then he put a tape together of every national TV sports announcer who said, it's over. They suck at the end of it. And he put that whole tape together and he made him watch it. And then he said, what are you going to do about it? All right. So here we are at that place, Grace, where we're seeing the whole world, right? Wars, Illuminati, capitalist greedy pigs, poisonings, medical, blah, blah. Do you need me to go on, right? We're at that place and we're getting rid of it all. We said, we are strong enough to get this all. And we are standing looking up at this wall. And what you just said, that internal wall is an expression of the external wall. You're looking up at it and you're going to say, I'm going to climb that. I'm going to pass through that. I'm going to change my density and just teleport to the other side, whatever it is. Or you're going to go, damn, that's a big wall. I'm going home now.
No, I'm too far in. I got to keep going.
Yeah, you can't help but keep going. And the fact that you're expressing what you're expressing means that when you go in and you find those unconscious root programs, one of them is going to be, I don't matter. What I do doesn't matter. It's so big, bad, and strong out there that I should stay small and weak because the bad people will see me and kick my ass and eat me alive, right? Which has happened in other lives. Any of us on this path, we were that shaman, we were that priest, we were that psychic seer that was burned at the stake, okay? We would not be here now if we did not have those choices or have those experiences and chose to bring them back into clear now, okay? So when you go in, you're going to find yours. And then that's where you're going to do let that grief and that pain go. And then you'll replace it with a better belief. And the thing I want to tell you is don't just do it all alone. I'm really, really pushing this community thing. With you, how do it? I know one of the people on this call now was in one of my classes and she has started a beautiful meditation group with some great people. And I just kind of lurk. I just kind of like to listen to their chat. And so many neat things are happening because they get together each week and share it. And that's the thing to create. So if you want to pay me $18 a month, happy to take your money. Okay. And join a pre-made community with lots of folks doing this stuff, including me being ego me. No, there's no ego me craving significance and wanting you to identify me as cool. Okay. You can join that or go find your own thing. Don't do this alone because it's amazingly difficult what you're attempting. And
Okay.
achieving. Was that a good pep talk? Usually I'm a downer. Was that a good pep talk?
No, that was great. That was great. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Thank you, Grace. Who else has a question here? That was really fun. Thank you. All right. This is your last chance for questions or else we're going to go in.
I can't find the hand thing.
Okay.
But
okay, Hannah, go ahead and hold on 1 second while I spotlight you. Beautiful, Hannah. Go for it.
I just would like to thank everybody who has started this conversation because I'm starting my 75th year in 6 months. And it's like, you know, I've taken this, I'm using my whatever this is. I got this at one point, but I started working on my linear life in 2016. And with all the work and with working with you a couple times, Peter, I've just taken that linear life and now just turned it into a hero's journey, or where I'm at right now, to be able to move, to begin. I am, and I've made my choices, and I'm at a point that major things and major shifts are going to be happening, and it has to be built, that I need to build my community for it in order for it to happen. And so I would like to just say thank you. And I don't really know what my question is, and yet I just know that every morning I awaken and there's either something from you, Peter, in a YouTube, or something that I should be waking up to that's bringing me a gift, a golden nugget for what I need, or that's coming in with the company that I'm going with, that I'm evolving with. But it's just like, just follow it organically, just let it evolve, don't push it. Just let it happen, and get my sword, my wand, and just keep out there. Is that, because nothing's holding
Roll,
me back.
Hannah, rock and roll. I'm so glad. Question be damned. I'm so glad you're saying this for people to hear, because you're embodying who you are so brilliantly and beautifully. And that's a way showing thing. That's what you're doing, is saying, hey, gang, look here, this can happen. And and everything you said is,
You know, it's that word ego that, you know, it is I am, you know, it's turning all those things from ego into M, or I am, or just, you know, I desire, make that desire, I choose, I have made that choice.
yes.
And
Own it and claim it and do it. And I love,
okay, now the other word that you just gave me there is I claim it.
yep.
But it just gives me the hope and the know that I am moving forward, and that I really am where I am meant to be on this day, 5/11/2024, with you, Peter, and everybody on here. And I want to just thank you.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks so much for sharing. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. All righty. So there's a question in the chat. I'm not going to give you your name, obviously, because you're asking it by chat. But it's a great question. Does frequent masturbation affect our spiritual energy in any negative manner? All right. Well, let me just start with answering it by my point of view. If it did, I wouldn't be here. Okay. Having said that, I told you earlier, you got confession. I got no secrets except for all that stuff that I'm embarrassed by. But since I claim significance, let me claim significance for being a perv as opposed to being a spiritual teacher. All right. I told you that I brought in sod energy in this lifetime. Yeah. Okay. And so I've had to sort all that out from my childhood to how I've been sexualized and trained. And it's a conundrum, and I'm still working on it. And I'm not sure there's a correct answer. Now, I know in some spiritual teachings, they're telling me that when you have sexual release, you let your energy and your power go. And there's some truth to that, but spirit right now is telling me that in the levels of stuff that we're dealing with, it's not a big deal. I mean, if you're trying to do creation on a super level, like actually, get to the point where you're Christ, and remember when he says you can move mountains, if you're trying to actually pick a mountain up and move it, then yeah, you might want to be holding on to your energy rather than dispersing it. Okay. But at the other times, what's the deal? We had that beautiful question about choosing to do something and then not carrying through on it. All right. I do that all the time. Oh, I did this one more time. I do it around sexuality and how I've been trained and brought into it in my lifetime. And so the option is, do I guilt myself around it? No. I then go to then this is the best I can do in the moment. And it's what I'm doing. And I'm aware of it. So then other feelings come in. And as long as I stay with those other feelings and don't just sit there, because, when you have an orgasm, you're super open and stuff. So that's when a beautiful time for those of you like me who've been trained into guilt, throw guilt on yourself so you can embed it in even deeper, right? Okay. But if you can get there before you get to the point where you're just training yourself with another patterning, right? Then you can open yourself and say, well, what's inside me here that I'm attracted to this? And what is my belief system around it? Now, I can only talk from a male point of view. Now, my wife, she and I do sessions several days a week and we do it in different rooms in the house. But sometimes I can hear what she's saying in the session, right? And she says to women all the time, damn, you girls got it hard. You're supposed to be this powerful woman, but you're supposed to be meek and subservient. You're supposed to be sexual and a goddess, but you can't be a slut, right? You got all this pressure growing up about, oh, it's not spiritual. In some traditions, they make you cover yourself because some other guy who can't control himself might be tempted if he's around you. So you're the one who's unclean, right? I'm watching that show, The Chosen. And when you have your menstrual cycle, you're unclean, right? I was in Bali and they made you tie a scarf around the middle of your belly before you can go in the temple to separate your clean upper half from your unclean lower half, right? So it's really, really deeply ingrained. So I don't even know how you ladies do it. You're supposed to grow up and save your virginity for your husband, but the social media is telling you that if you're not if you're still a virgin and you're 14, something's wrong with you. Okay. And so it's like, just, I don't even know what it's like. So the only thing I can tell you is you have to go in and find the programming and then own who you are and then clear with a statement and an affirmation of I release. I am. Okay. So, and that's what that other question about was, well, what about these other lifetimes and stuff like that? And that, even that beautiful question that Jennifer asked, like, hey, I'm feeling like I'm in this place with this contract. All those are overlays. Identify them, and then you clear them by making your statement of power of who you are. And there might be masturbation along the way. That's all I can tell you. Okay. All right. Yeah. And thanks for being real, for asking that question, because, that's that whole thing. Oh, we're spiritual. We can't talk about this stuff. No, we damn well better talk about this stuff if we want to be fully human and embody spirit into these bodies that are fully human. And, a lot of the older traditions, there's goddesses that are related to sex. You don't see many gods related to sex, the male side, but there are some. And, it's a beautiful aspect of you. And when you talk about Kundalini and power, where do you think that generates? In your root. You're talking about the power of creating life. That's a whole energetic thing. That's not just a sperm and an egg kind of thing. And that's all that is in a mix. And do I have any answers? Not yet. All right. Last chance for a question, or we're going to go into the transmission. So this is your last chance. All right. So we're going to go into a transmission. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to first get into a oneness field to make it stronger. And to do that for now, I'm going to get rid of the spotlight on me. Okay. And I'm going to move into a gallery view for the recording. And those of you who want to either contribute more or get more, turn your camera on. Okay. Because this way you can actually see who's in the field with you and connect that way. So we're going to play a song and we're going to go into oneness connection during this song. And the way that will be done is you're going to imagine a column of light from the sacred central sun coming down to the top of your head into your heart. And then your heart's going to light up and you're going to exhale it and breathe it to everybody on the call and watching the video whenever they do. and all the spirit team that is with us, because we're going to call them in and invite them. So you're going to breathe it from the central sun to your heart, then out from your heart to everybody. Then from there, you're going to breathe it back in from everybody's heart to yours. And from that point forward, it's heart to heart, my heart to everybody, everybody's heart to mine. Start with the central sun, out to everybody, then back into you, and then out to everybody, into you, to the end of the song. So we're going to do that to get in a oneness field. This is going to connect you. This is why this is always so much more powerful when done in a group. And this is why I was telling you, if you can show up to in-person events when they happen, like the retreat and things, then it's even more powerful because there's something about the physicality of the presence that amplifies it. Okay. So we're going to go back and forth for a while and get into oneness. After that, I'm going to change the camera around. So it's going to be just focusing on me again. And you're going to look in my eyes. I'm going to get out of the way. And during the song that comes up, you're just going to look into my eyes. All right. And it's not me looking at you. It'll be spirit, because I'm going to do my best to get out of the way and give you whatever can help you move higher into the consciousness of awakening. You will do that for the second song. On the third song, close your eyes and go into relaxation, and the transmission will continue. Okay. And then just drink it in during the third song. All right. That's how it goes. Let's dive into this. Start by bringing in your sacred higher self, please. Yes. Now bring in your team, all your guides, all your angels, anybody you work with. Nice. Now, please go all the way up to source, whatever you call it, God, the divine. Oh, that was really strong. That was new, beautiful. Now go in the other direction. Bring in all of the planet. Start with a recognition of Gaia. You've been on her for your whole life. She's been with you. Now, all the inner earth beings, all the extra dimensional beings, all the realms, plants, animals, minerals, bring them in to be with you. Beautiful. Now let's go outward to our galactic friends, all the ETs, brothers and sisters helping us move forward. Now let's go inward through time and bring your ancestors in. And finally, oh, it feels so good. Oh, you guys, this feels so good. Thank you. Finally, we put out an open call to all beings of high frequency and service to love and light. Any entities connected to the planet Earth, interested in our awakening, we ask you to be here now and support everybody's leap in consciousness. Beautiful. Now, during the song, you're just going to breathe in from the central sun to your heart, out to everybody on the call, in the spirit realm, watching the video, and then back in and out from your heart to everybody's heart. Now, just look into my eyes and receive. Just stay open. Close your eyes and relax. The transmission is going to continue. Just receive it, just allow it into you.
जीवस्य विमुक्तिः एतस्मात् इन्द्रियाणां विमुक्तिः अहङ्कारात् विमुक्तिः मनसो विमुक्तिः
Thank you all for being here. Those of you watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. You know, I've already told you I have this lovely craving for significance. I want my channel to grow really big. So help me out, please. And share it, please, because this kind of message isn't really being put out there. The nitty gritty about what it's like to evolve in your ascension in your life. And especially all about the ownership, about taking control of your own path, stepping up into your own power that you are a God source being and not a child anymore. It's not a message that's put out there a lot. So please share this and help me out that way and help your friends out that way. Okay, just sit back and keep letting this sink into you. This is going to go on for a while, whatever you've received. I'm so honored and just touched to be able to spend this time with you all. It is really an honor. And, you know, and you guys know I'm selfish and I'm giving it away because I want to get some. You all just boosted up my ascension a lot because I'm doing my best to help you with yours. And that's how it works. So just keep sharing it. Blessings. See you when I see you.